The night I found out the truth, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I was standing in the hallway of our apartment, still wearing the red dress he once said made me look unforgettable. The same dress I had worn to surprise him with dinner. The same dress I thought would make him smile after a long day at work. But instead of a smile, I found silence. The apartment was dark. The candles I had lit were melting slowly on the dining table. The pasta had gone cold. And on the couch, glowing in the dark, was Ethan's phone. One message changed everything. "I miss you already. Last night was perfect." My heart stopped. For a moment I told myself it was a mistake. Maybe it was a work joke. Maybe it was someone sending it to the wrong person. Maybe my Ethan, the man who kissed my forehead every morning, the man who said I was his forever, would never do something like that. But then another message came in. "Does Maya still believe you're working late?" My name. Right there. Maya. That was the moment my love story died. And something else inside me quietly woke up. My name is Maya Collins, and for 3 years I loved Ethan Carter more than I loved myself. We met on a rainy Thursday afternoon in Chicago. I was running out of a coffee shop with my laptop bag over my head, trying not to ruin my hair before a job interview. Ethan was standing outside under a black umbrella, wearing a navy suit and a smile that looked almost too perfect. "You look like you're losing a fight with the weather," he said. I should have rolled my eyes. "Dad," I laughed. He walked me 2 blocks to my interview, sharing his umbrella like we were already something special. Before I left, he handed me his business card. "Call me if you get the job," he said. "And even if you don't." I got the job. And I called him. That was how it started. At first, Ethan was everything I had ever prayed for. He remembered little things. My favorite flowers were white roses. I hated olives on pizza. I liked old love songs and rainy night drives. He knew exactly how to make me feel seen. When my father got sick, Ethan drove me to the hospital every weekend. When I doubted myself at work, he left notes on my mirror saying, "You are stronger than you think." When I cried, he held me like my pain mattered to him. So when he asked me to move in with him after a year, I said yes before he even finished the sentence. I thought we were building a life. But sometimes, the person helping you build the house is the same person secretly setting fire to the walls. The first crack came slowly. Ethan started staying late at work. Then it became late. He changed his phone password. He stopped leaving it on the kitchen counter. He laughed less. He kissed me quickly. He looked through me instead of at me. When I asked if everything was okay, he smiled and said, "You worry too much, babe." That was his favorite line. "You worry too much." At first I believed him. Love makes you explain away things your heart already knows are wrong. Then came the perfume. It was soft, sweet, and expensive. Not mine. I smelled it on his jacket one Sunday morning while doing laundry. My fingers froze around the fabric. I brought the jacket to him and asked calmly, "Why does your jacket smell like women's perfume?" He looked at me like I had insulted him. "Maya, are we really doing this?" "Doing what?" "Acting insecure." That word cut deep. Insecure. Suddenly I was the problem. Not the perfume. Not the late nights. Not the secret phone. Me. I apologized that night. Can you imagine? I apologized for noticing the truth. 2 weeks later I saw her. Her name was Vanessa Reed. She worked in Ethan's office. Tall, polished, perfect smile, perfect hair, perfect everything. I met her at a company dinner. Ethan introduced her as just a colleague. But her eyes told me she knew more about him than a colleague should. When she hugged him goodbye, her hand stayed on his arm for 1 second too long. And Ethan didn't move away. I saw it. He saw that I saw it. On the drive home he was quiet. When we got upstairs he turned to me and said, "Please don't embarrass me in front of my coworkers again." I stared at him. I didn't say anything. "You didn't have to. Your face said enough." That night he slept with his back to me. I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering when love had started feeling like punishment. Till I stayed. Because I loved the old Ethan. The one from the rain. The one with the mirror notes. The one who held my hand in hospital hallways. I kept hoping he would come back. But the truth is, some people don't change back. They only reveal who they really were when pretending becomes too heavy. Then came the message on his phone. "I miss you already. Last night was perfect." I stood there for a long time reading it over and over until the words burned into me. My first instinct was to scream. To wake him up. To throw his phone at the wall. To demand answers. But then I heard his voice in my head. You worry too much. Insecure. Don't embarrass me. And something inside me became calm. Not peaceful. Calm. There is a dangerous kind of silence that comes after a woman has cried too many times. I took screenshots of everything. Every message. Every photo. Every lie. Then I put his phone back exactly where I found it. When Ethan came home the next morning, he kissed my cheek like he hadn't destroyed me. Long night? I asked. Brutal, he said, loosening his tie. The client meeting went on forever. I smiled. That was the first time I lied back. For the next 3 weeks I played the role perfectly. I cooked dinner. I laughed at his jokes. I kissed him goodbye. I let him think he had fooled me. But behind the scenes I was collecting pieces of the truth. And the truth was uglier than I imagined. Ethan wasn't just cheating. He was using me. The apartment lease was in my name because my credit was better. Half the furniture was bought with my money. I had even helped him pay off a business loan he claimed was for our future. Our future. That future had Vanessa's fingerprints all over it. One evening while Ethan was in the shower, I found emails on his laptop. He and Vanessa were planning to move to Seattle together. He had already interviewed for a new job there. He had told her he was waiting for the right time to leave me. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was one message from Vanessa. Just make sure Maya keeps paying the rent until we leave. No need to feel guilty. She's too sweet to fight back. Too sweet to fight back. I laughed when I read that. Not because it was funny. Because they were wrong. I may have been sweet, but I was not stupid. And I was done being soft for people who used my softness as a weapon against me. The next day I went to see my best friend, Chloe. Chloe was the kind of woman who could tell when you were broken before you said a word. She opened her apartment door, saw my face and pulled me inside. What did he do? She asked. I handed her my phone. She read everything in silence. Then she looked up and said, "Please tell me you're not going to forgive him." "No," I said. "I'm going to let him expose himself." Chloe smiled slowly. "That's my girl." Together we made a plan. Not something cruel. Not something illegal. Nothing wild or crazy. Just the truth. Clean, clear, undeniable truth. Ethan's company was hosting a promotion dinner in 2 weeks. He had been bragging about it for months. Executives, clients, coworkers, everyone important would be there. He thought it was going to be the night he became untouchable. I decided it would be the night he became known. During those 2 weeks I prepared quietly. I removed my money from our joint account. I spoke to the landlord and explained that I would be ending the lease. I gathered receipts, bank statements, screenshots and emails. I packed my important things little by little and moved them to Chloe's apartment. Ethan noticed nothing. That is the funny thing about people who underestimate you. They never think you are smart enough to leave before they are ready to lose you. The night of the dinner I wore the red dress again. Ethan looked at me and smiled. "You look beautiful," he said. Once those words would have made me blush. That night they made me stronger. The event was held in a beautiful hotel ballroom downtown. Golden lights. White tablecloths. Soft music. Everyone dressed like success had a dress code. Vanessa was there, of course. She wore silver. When she saw me, her smile flickered. Just a little. Good. She was nervous. Ethan kept his hand on my back all night, acting like the perfect boyfriend. He introduced me to executives as the woman who keeps me grounded. I almost laughed. Then came his speech. Ethan stood at the front of the room, smiling like a man who believed the world belonged to him. "I just want to thank everyone who believed in me," he said. "Especially Maya, my partner, who has supported me through everything." People turned and smiled at me. Vanessa looked down. My heartbeat was steady. Then Ethan lifted his glass. "To loyalty," he said. That was when I stood up. The room went quiet. I picked up my own glass and smiled. "To loyalty," I said. "And to the truth, because one should never exist without the other." Ethan's smile froze. I walked to the front of the room. "Maya," he whispered, "what are you doing?" I looked at him and said softly, "Something you should have done a long time ago. Being honest." Then I turned to the room. "I want to thank Ethan too," I said. "For teaching me that sometimes betrayal doesn't come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the person sleeping beside you." A few people gasped. Vanessa stood halfway from her seat. I continued. "For 3 years I loved this man. I supported him emotionally, financially, and personally. But while I was building a future with him, he was planning another one with someone else in this very room. The ballroom became so silent you could hear the music stop. Ethan's face went pale. "Maya, stop," he said. But I was not his quiet girl anymore. I clicked a button on the projector remote Chloe had helped me set up earlier. Screenshots appeared on the large screen behind me. Messages. Emails. Proof. Vanessa's name. Ethan's lies. The Seattle plans. The rent message. "She's too sweet to fight back." People read it. All of it. Vanessa covered her mouth. Ethan looked like the floor had disappeared beneath him. I turned to him one last time. "I loved you," I said. "That was real. But you used my love like it was a weakness. Tonight you don't lose me because I'm angry. You lose me because I finally respect myself." Then I walked out. No screaming. No crying. No begging. Just heels clicking against marble floors. The kind of sound freedom makes when it finally leaves the room. Outside, Chloe was waiting by the hotel entrance with her car running. She rolled down the window. "How did it go?" I looked back at the hotel doors. Then I smiled. He paid. In the weeks that followed, Ethan called me 87 times. I didn't answer. He sent long messages about mistakes, regret, love, confusion, and second chances.